The question is, we hear a lot, is why Continua and what do we try to fulfill from a needs perspective with Continua. Continua goes back about 7 years, 8 years, and the basic need is that physicians, but also consumers, patients, look for standardization of information, meaning interoperability. So information from a device can travel through the whole ecosystem, what we call an ecosystem, all the way to an electronic health record system. In between those, between the device and the record system, there are management systems, there are cloud solutions, there's nowadays smartphones, and what Continua is poised to do is to create a set of standards that enables interoperability, the free travel of the information from what we call from left to the right, device to health record system. So one of the examples to explain why we do that comes from diabetes. Nowadays it's still standard that a patient has sometimes 2 or 3 different meters. So, and if he has it from different manufacturers, he needs different software to manage that diabetes information. Now, if you look at the healthcare professional in a doctor's office, he looks at nowadays probably 5, 6, 8 different manufacturers with another 5 each devices, and now he has to really manage a host of management systems and inputs. Some are cabled, some are wireless, some is infrared still, others is USB already, and the third is Bluetooth. And for all these, he has to maintain cables, receiver stations, but also management system. And some of the data management system cannot even exist on the same computer. Now you have multiple devices, multiple programs, multiple computers, multiple user interfaces to do nothing else than manage blood glucose data. So that is a very complex and very inefficient use of the doctor's or the nurse's time. So what we do is we create guidelines, basically standard-based guidelines where that addresses interoperability. Example, we work with Bluetooth to address interoperability in Bluetooth and Bluetooth LE, the new Bluetooth Smart, to have a consistent implementation of Bluetooth along the path. We also work with USB, so we have standards that describe exactly how, for instance, blood glucose data should be created in device and travels from the device into a management system, from a management system into a network system. Here in the network system we have TCP/IP protocols we define, and then we also have web services where we use the World Wide Web standards to assign those, address those issues. So we work with all the different standards organizations and technology organizations to create standards, and on top of those standards we put a guideline that gives clear instructions for the implementation of those standards. So a lot of questions we receive is around how do we make sure that our standards are implemented the correct way. What we did at Continua, we have developed a certification process that allows companies to test and certify the correct implementation. And this does 2 things. It helps the company who develops the product to be sure that it's done right, but it also helps the user, as soon as he sees the logo of Continua, that it actually works. So if I buy today a device that is Continua certified and buy a manager that has the Continua stamp, I can be sure that it shares information.